How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am back for another
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age. You can't review this hero.
What do you mean we can't do this hero? He came out in the 40s.
He wasn't a hero until the 60s.
He's still a Golden Age character. We can do that.
He wasn't a hero until the Bronze Age.
We've done a review of a Bronze Age character just a few videos ago, Silver Star.
You're only doing this review so you can show his first appearance in the Golden Age comics.
Not denying that. Anyways, have you probably read into the title, we are doing Pureheart the Powerful, which, if you weren't reading him when he first came out, you might know him better as Captain Pureheart, and nobody can explain why the name changed. They changed it for some reason. Anyways, Pureheart the Powerful, also known as Archie Andrews. Archie did come out in the 1940s, and despite his first issue being rather odd, I mean, it doesn't seem to follow the flow of any of the other Archie stories after that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't read them all. They've been coming out since before I was born. This seemed different from any other Archie story, so we're going to go ahead and cover his first appearance in the comic books, and then we're going to cover his first appearance as Pureheart the Powerful, otherwise known later on as Captain Pureheart. And it's an interesting thing because I don't think MLJ, which was Archie at the time, was trying to come out with a new hero. They had the entire MLJ lineup. If they wanted to put out more hero comics, they definitely had the people. And in fact, some of the Archies in their superhero identity have teamed up with some of the MLJ characters sporadically. It hasn't been a common thing. I did decide to wear this t-shirt for the review. It's not one of the Golden Age t-shirts I bought, but these are classic Marvel characters from the 60s, and I thought, hey, we're doing a guy who, superhero premiered in the 60s. Might as well go with the 60s themed t-shirt. Now, like I said, I don't think that MLJ was trying to come out, Archie, with a new superhero. I think they were just trying to do this as a one and done thing, but it became extremely popular. Probably a lot more popular than it had any right to be. And then it's come out sporadically over the years, including the other members of the Riverdale main cast. So let's go ahead and cover these two issues. And if we're not running too late, we might go ahead and cover briefly cover his origin story. He doesn't get an origin story in his first issue. Like I said, I don't think they expected to do this again. His origin story would come out later. So let's cover the first two appearances. His first appearance in the comics, and his first is Pureheart, or Captain Pureheart, and discuss the origin story. So let's get into this. Okay, Archie first appears in Pet Comics number 22. Here you are, gang. America's newest boyfriend, Archie Andrews, christened Archibald. He hates Archie, so if you value life and limb, call him Chick. Right now, he's risking life and limb to impress his new neighbor, Betty Cooper. It's just a matter of skill, that's all. And you can see that she's already favoring young Archie. My name's Archie, but you can call me Chick. You're new here, ain't you? And this is Betty's moving in, and he's going to brag that he can walk on the fence with a blindfold. Now, he does so, and he starts to impress, and we cut over to Betty's father, who is moving a picture in, and he would rather do instead of the movers because he values the picture so much. Archie gets to the fence that is now opened, trips and falls and lands through the picture in comedic style. And it looks exactly like you think it would. You can see the picture here. And then he's trying to apologize for ruining the picture. He steps on a rake, which smacks another moving man in the jaw, and the vase that he was holding falls to the ground. And Mr. Cooper says, let me get my hands on you. Mrs. Cooper says, my porcelain vase, my nerves, my heaven. Oh, God, this is the 40s. My gosh, I didn't think I'd make a hit with Betty's folks. That's not funny. The mover says, oh, my poor head. And then Archie is talking with Betty, and he looks rather glum, knowing that this is a hard way to start off a friendship. Then we see Archie hiding in his room because he knows he's in trouble. You can see the eyeballs under the bed. He approaches his dad, and he sticks a book in his jeans because he's about to get spanked. And I did something very similar to this when I was young, patting the seat because, doing things that would require me not to get spanked for doing it wasn't any fun. So Archie feels he's going to get smacked, and then his grandpa steps in the way and goes, now, Gramps, don't try and talk me out of this. This is a serious matter. Come on, Fred. He was doing this to impress a girl. He's a chip off the old block. You gotta love grandpas. So the dad tells him that he's not going to get whooped for it, but he needs to pay it back. Relieved, he sits in a chair, forgetting that the book was back there. The book is titled How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then the mother cries out that was his pair of good pants. So later we say, let's see, yes, sir, women like a man with courage. Thanks, Gramps. I'll think of something. And he's walking with his friend, Jughead. I tell you, Jughead, I got to get an idea. A big one, too. Girls, phooey, they're poison, chick. Stay away from them, I warn you. And this is another instance of him being called chick, which doesn't stick very long. Well, Archie comes over there and goes over to Betty, and Betty tells him that his dad is still awful mad, and Jughead here looks very depressed. Let's see. She tells him that they're running a carnival, and that if he would assist with it, he could impress the father by being helpful. Let's see. I'm going to run the taffy stand. You can assist. So as they're walking away, Jughead's going, there you go, getting deeper and deeper. Now it's taffy. Gee, what's next? The next day, it comes Saturday, and the carnival, the biggest event in Riverdale history. And there's a policeman here standing guard at the gate, and there are two kids breaking in, or jumping the fence into the carnival. It's 10 cents for crying out loud. Even in the 40s, it shouldn't have been too much. Anyways, an adult is over here talking to young Betty, unloading his troubles. Why would the adult be telling the kid his troubles? That doesn't make any sense at all. Hey, I'm all bummed out. I'm going to go tell the kid what's bothering me. That makes absolutely no sense. Anyways, yes, kid, I'm in a spot. My tightrope walker had an accident this morning. Maybe I can help. I know a tightrope walker. This interaction, even in the 40s, would not happen. The adult's not going to unload to a kid that he's got issues. So she tells him about Archie, and Archie decides that being a taffy assistant is not for him. He's trying to sneak out, but he gets caught. Archie, you see, she refuses to call him chick. Think of it, Archie, he'll pay you to do tricks in a tightrope. That sounds easy. I've walked every fence in town. And then we have a complete non sequitur here. The guy goes, what do you mean tightrope? That's my clothesline. Oh, maybe I'd better resign. This makes absolutely no sense. He agrees to walk a tightrope, and this guy is saying that's his clothesline. This is a completely pointless non sequitur. I hate it in the 40s when they put things that doesn't affect the storyline into their stories. It's non sequitur. And he finally gets over to the tightrope, and he says that it must be 100 feet up. And he goes up on the tightrope, and he's doing well at first until a butterfly. Why would a butterfly be flying that high and being anywhere near a guy with movement? Okay, so as he's trying to get the butterfly away from him, the butterfly lands on his nose. Bull. butterflies avoid people like the plague. It's not going to land on his nose. Anyways, the comic book butterfly lands on his nose, and it starts to knock him off balance. And as he's losing his balance, we see that his mother and his father both show up. My son, Archie, Archibald. Oh gosh, I knew it was too good to last. And as he's falling to the ground, I like this. He flies through the air with the greatest of ease. Archie should have stuck to the flying trapeze. He falls, and Jughead and the mother are there with a wooden barrel to catch him. What happens is kind of inexplicable. He lands in a tub that looks like that tub next to the taffy machine. Why would the tightrope be that close to the taffy that he could fall into it? Anyways, he falls into the taffy machine, and his foot connects with the control lever, and taffy starts flying everywhere. I know taffy is pulled rather hard, but I'm still having trouble picturing that happening. Well, of course, Betty's father gets covered in the taffy, and he's none too pleased. Look closely and you'll recognize J.B. Cooper, Betty's father. As Jughead and Archie are running, he goes, "But Mr. Cooper, I can explain." Jughead goes, "You stop and explain. I'll keep going." And then late into the night, because we see the moon is up, they're both in a tree with dogs nipping at their feet, and there's a horse standing there for some reason. Taffy, phooey, girls, double phooey. Some kid, that Archie, huh, gang? There's another barrel of trouble and fun waiting for him and his pal Jughead in the next issue of Pep Comics. If your heart is weak and you can't stop laughing too much, then don't read it, because you'll roar until you can't catch your breath and the tears will roll. Let's see, Archie Comics, his role, Archie Comics Laugh Sensation. Well, I hope it was funnier than this one. That's mean. It might have been funny for the 40s. I find this highly ridiculous. Let's continue the review. Well, that's the very first appearance of Archie, and now we're going to go over his first appearance as Pureheart the Powerful, which for some reason would get changed in a few issues after his debut to Captain Pureheart for some strange reason. Now, this appearance of him being a superhero happened in 1966. That would be the Bronze Age. Now, the Bronze Age was something of a renaissance in the comic books. That's when Marvel hit it big. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko started making the stories that just brought people back into being intrigued with superheroes that people started to get disenfranchised with in some way after World War II. Now, Archie series wasn't trying to create new superheroes. They already had the entire list of MLJ characters. So if they wanted to put out more superheroes, they were perfectly capable of doing it because they had all of them. So the Archie Pureheart the Powerful was more of a satirical thing. They just wanted to see what it looked like if Archie had superpowers, and some of the powers he gets are really weird, and you'll see with the first appearance when we go over them. I don't think that they meant for powerful as it was. Even the next couple issues, he appeared in Life with Archie number 43, or was it number 44? Well, it was Life of Archie, and that's when he appeared, and he wouldn't even come back until a couple issues later, and you'll see, they showed his first appearance as being a daydream, but it actually was popular enough that all of the other main characters got their own superpowers as well. Jughead, Betty, Veronica and even Reggie became a supervillain. Now, they didn't continue for very long back then, but every now and then they have brought them back. I think there might be another title coming out soon, or it just did, with them being the superheroes. And even in 1994, they came out with the Super Teens. And that's when Veronica would join as Miss Vanity, along with Betty being Super Teen, Jughead being Captain Hero, to go along with Archie being Captain Pureheart, which they should have kept him as Pureheart the Powerful. And even Reggie being, I believe it was Evil Heart. Now, they would give Archie an origin story. Let's see, 42nd issue, yes. They would give Archie an origin story by issue 46, talking about how he tapped into the power of pH. I haven't read that yet. I'll give it a look. And that's how he was able to tap into the powers. But they came up with something that was supposed to be a goof and actually created something that people wanted to see. And that, with the introduction of the Justice League and the introduction of the Avengers, people wanted to see heroes. Another time, another way, Archie could have turned into the superheroes, but that's actually not why people tune into Archie comics. If you've ever been a fan or reader at any one point in time, you know what kind of stories they tell. But there are also people intrigued enough with superheroes that this did gain some popularity in the 60s and has been popular enough that they keep doing it every now and again. So let's cover the first appearance and see some of the goofiness that was behind Pureheart the Powerful. Okay, Life with Archie, number 42. This is the cover. Enter Pureheart, teenage superhero, to battle the diabolical Superfink, the Ice Cube. And, Superfink? Okay, we come in here and the cover's what you see. Archie in Cold Cash, Part 1. It's the Superfink, the Ice Cube. An innocent-looking oil truck is actually filled with his deadly gas. Am I reading this right? It looks like Fred Nazy. I have no idea if I'm reading that right. It might be faded lettering. I'm trapped. A chiller to end all chillers as the lodge fortune is turned into frozen assets by that cold-hearted cur, the Ice Cube. Oh, is he a fink or a cur? Turn blue, Pureheart. You'll interfere with my evil plans no more. Wow. You will interfere with my plans no more. That sounds like more like writing that you get from the 50s than the 60s. Okay, so we see that Pureheart gets frozen, and let's see. He starts to haul Pureheart away, but Pureheart says the heat of his goodness will melt the ice. And as the ice melts, he flies. He can fly. And the cold... What was his name again? The Ice Cube states that there was so much water in that block of ice that it's flooding the narrow street. So the street floods. He somehow ends up outside of the truck that he was just driving. And the truck gets washed away because we never see the truck again. The Ice Cube is drying himself on the corner. And Pureheart is going to arrest him. And he suddenly gets changed into a rabbit. Okay, I have read this, and this is a complete non sequitur. Okay, the witch doctor turns him into a rabbit, which is also a villain, second class villain. He turns him into the witch doctor, and the Ice Cube is able to get away. So Archie starts hopping into the forest, and he says he needs to reach someone called the Head before he gets he gets caught by a fox or a bobcat. So he goes in there, and the head can recite any passage that he's ever read before. And apparently inside the encyclopedias, there is a section on witchcraft. Like I said, it feels more like the 50s than the 60s. He is able to turn Pureheart back into who he is from a rabbit. And he says, I'm back. I'm sticky, but I'm back. Oh, good. I'm glad this isn't nowadays. That statement would not work. Okay. So he flies after the ice cube and he says, there he goes. Thanks to my super vitamins, I've overtaken him. Okay. Anyways, foiled, you frigid fink, unfreeze those guards. No sense in freezing him again. His heart of inner goodness will only melt the ice. So he creates an ice path that Archie trips and slips on. And I can't stop. And he slips right into a vat of asphalt. But when he runs into it, he kicks it so it lands on the ice cube. And let's see, the heat is melting me. I'll have to lower my temperature to the minimum. And when he lowers his temperature, he finds out that he can mold the asphalt into other shapes. It's very malleable, is what he says. He actually uses the word malleable. Okay, so he puts it into strands like a web and puts it around Pureheart. And I can't get loose. These strands of tar are sticky, yet strong. I thought you were already sticky from the witchcraft stuff. Okay, and we cut into this vault. And I guess he froze the secretary. That's a good boy, Mr. Lodge. Now stand aside or I'll freeze you like all the others. Is there no one who can save me from the supervillain, the Ice Cube? I honestly don't know why he wouldn't just freeze him like he did freeze everyone else. There's no reason not to. Well, there goes a fortune, you dumb jerk. A lot of help you are. He's insulting Archie as he's lying there in strands of asphalt. Now, the ice cube gets away, and we found out that he put on these pogo springs. He says, free at last. You're free. I'm broke. Mr. Lodge really does care about his money. Pureheart starts to chase after him, wondering how he could get away so fast, and it's because of the pogo sticks. He says, the tension in these titanium springs, I'll be long gone before that polluting Pureheart breaks loose. Has the ice cube triumphed over the stalwart hero? Say not so. His strength and strength of 10 his strength is as the strength of 10 because his heart is so pure. You really could have worded that better. Okay, Archie and Cold Cash, Part 2. My intercranial color TV. Oh, God. I need to give myself a minute on that one. My intercranial color TV pinpoints the progress of the arch villain, the Ice Cube. A hot pursuit will soon melt his power. What in God's name is intercranial color TV? I mean, I have read a lot of heroes. I don't even know what to make of that. Okay, and with that, our hero flies away on the trail of the Lodge Millions. Zoo. Yeah. Did you really write this in the 60s? It does not feel like a comic book from the 60s. Okay. So we see him catch up with the Ice Cube. And as he's flying towards him, he crashes into what seems to be an invisible wall. The Ice Cube states that he made a thin shield of ice that Archie flew into. If Pureheart really is that powerful, he should have broken through a thin shield of ice. I mean, honestly, I know he put up a thin shield so he couldn't see it, but If Pureheart really is that powerful, he should have flown right through it. And now he says that he's flying to his northern hideout to count his loot in icy seclusion. Now, Archie says that he can't catch up with his... He has a jet airplane that is powered by ice. Of course he does. He says that he can't catch up with the ship because it's flying at super speed. I'll make use of my magnetic mind projection to control his compass. Okay. So we know that he can fly and that he can strong. Apparently he has intracranial TV powers and magnetic mind projection. While you're giving him all the powers, do you want to add a few more? So he manipulates the compass and Ice Cube begins to fly south instead of flying north. That's when he realizes that he's in a tropical area and Archie tells him that he's at the equator. He thinks that he made it south and it changed a lot, but no, you're at the equator. Pureheart, chip away, chump. I'm turning myself into a solid cube that no one can penetrate. And Archie just stands there and he tells him that you're on the equator and you're beginning to melt. So, God, did he kill the ice cube? It's as he's melting, he's getting smaller and smaller. You're not only melting, you drip, but you're evaporating as fast as you do. Help, I'm shrinking. Goodbye, cube. Right if you get work. Did the ice cube just die? Did he kill the villain? Well, the villain would have killed himself, but he did send him to the equator. If he evaporates, can he form again? So many questions. And then we see Archie in a lounge chair. Another supervillain vanquished by Pureheart vanquished by Pureheart the Archie. What are you doing in my favorite chair? Mr. Launch, I got your millions back. Out, you dizzy dreamer, get lost. And I actually like Veronica's outfit in the last page here. I'm a guy. Anyways, boy, and after what I did for him, Veronica tells Archie he's got to stop daydreaming, and he says, what? And let evil triumph? Never. Pureheart must persist. It's the American way. The end. Yes, this is the start of his powers, but it's definitely not the end. I think we might have a little time for his origin. Just, a quick rundown of how he got his powers. Now, the origin story is just about as goofy as you think it would be. Archie is reading a book, and he reads this passage, says, there is nothing so powerful as a heart that is pure. Nothing. And he says, it is the pureness of the heart that we will call the pH factor, that the strength lies. And he walks out, and it looks like he wills himself to become powerful. He just does it by the power of will. He becomes the superhero, and we see him going through the issue, stumbling with his powers, just causing just about causing as much damage as he's curing. So we learn that he decides to become a superhero at a pure force of will, and at the very end, he's trying to tell Ronnie that he's the superhero, and Reggie's like, that's a new gag he's trying to pull. So everyone pretends he's some sort of superhero, and she says, how childish. As they walk away, Betty's like, she's forgotten already? And the very last couple pages says, the sheer power of the pH factor blankets the minds of ordinary beings, smothering all memories of the heroic events taking place. By golly, so that's why nobody remembers me as Pureheart. It's sure no fun being a hero if you don't get any of the credit. But right there, that's not Pureheart thinking. Right there, his statement is so selfish. That would negate him ever being Pureheart again. Anyways, it says, well, is he is or is he ain't? Is he is or is he ain't? Oh my God, who wrote that? Is Pureheart for real, or did Archie merely dream him? What do you think? So that gives you the origin story of Pureheart. I really hope that he did not adopt this way of thinking, because that is extremely selfish. That he doesn't want to be a hero unless he's getting the credit. All right, I hope that you like this. This is the first entry in Lost Heroes of the MLJ. Kind of a lost hero with Captain Pureheart, Pureheart the Powerful. Anyways, this is the first entry for the month. If you have another MLJ character that you'd like to see before the month is over, go ahead and let me know, and we'll try and include him on the MLJ month. So, until next time, I'll be seeing you.